Hello, everyone. I am LaDonna McAbee, your host of the Networking Expert. And I am so privileged to have Dr. Patricia Rogers in the house today. I am so excited that she is doing this interview with us so that we can learn more about what she and her team does to help everyone have a more successful you and your business. Hello, Dr. Rogers. How are you?
I'm doing great, LaDonna. So happy to be here with you today. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, you know what? It's just a blessing to have you here with us because we know that you have filled us with so much joy and knowledge in the past, and we know that you will do again in the future. So, Dr. Rogers, in about 30 seconds, just to kick this interview off, tell us something about you and your business that you truly enjoy doing for others.
That's I'm glad you asked that question. What I really enjoy the most, I am retired, 29 years of service in law enforcement. I retired in 2016. I started my business in 2012. I actually started working my business in 2015. And what I discovered, what helped assisted me on that journey was I first had to learn what it was that I possessed inside of me that I could give to other people that they would make an investment in. And I discovered that my passion is setting a platform for entrepreneurs to speak, be seen, be heard, increase their leads so that they can get new clients. And I have been doing that faithfully. In-person events I did for 6 years, annual conferences. People flew from all over to come to the conferences and speak. And then, of course, when the pandemic hit, I had to pivot on a dime, just like everybody else. And I have been hosting virtual events ever since the pandemic. Me and my team, we probably hosted, I guess, over about 50. I've probably spoken over about 100 or so platforms. And I teach individuals as well how to host their events, virtual events, so that they can make money. And lastly, one thing I also have a passion for that goes along with hosting events, and I'm sure you will agree, is marketing. Marketing. So I am a social media guru. I love social media because many of the people who have filled our seats, spoke on our platforms, comes from social media, building those relationships. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Absolutely. Just like us, Dr. Patricia Rogers is I met you through LinkedIn. I seen you post, and more posting. And I said to myself, I'm going to reach out to this woman. I don't really know who she is or what she's about. And I was almost afraid because I could see that you were very popular on LinkedIn. I could see it post after post, comment after comment. But very quickly, I found that you were human. You answered me. You answered me. And then we set up a call, and then that connection was met. The network started, and the collaboration still going strong for almost 2 years, Dr. Rogers.
Yeah, yeah, I've been on it. I've been on it. I love social media is my life. It's my passion because, like I said, I've made so many relationships on social media, and technology has allowed us to work from home, of course. So social media, that's my family.
Yeah.
If I want a nice compliment, all I got to do is put a nice post up there. If I want attention, I know how to get it through a nice video, and that's what it's all about because I believe that everybody that's on social media or who desire to be on social media wants attention. We all want attention and recognition, and social media has made it so possible. So none of us are really walking alone. All we have to do is click the button and show up on social media. And somebody's waiting to see and watch and view us as well as the content that we post. So that's very important to me.
Absolutely. And Dr. Rogers, I wanted to see what you thought about this. Is that this is my opinion. And I think that it's pretty true. But from an expert like you, I wanted to also ask you, people will say, nobody sees my post. Well, guess what, guys? You don't know who sees your post because some people will never comment because they don't know the value in commenting or loving or liking. I have had people just say, I follow you. I know everything you do. I see, I look at you and I see what you're doing. And I'm like, why are you not commenting? People just don't get it. What do you think about that?
Wow. Ooh. Yeah, that's a common question. That's a common question that a lot of my clients and associates ask me. Why do I keep posting, and how do you get people to respond? My answer to that is, when I post on social media, when I show up on social media, number one, I show up with purpose. Number two, I show up, and when I post as if it's my platform. The whole platform is mine. I don't see other people. And when I do that, it does not make me focus on who's not commenting. And I'm going to say that because if I post myself in a bikini, two-piece bikini, I would probably get over 2,000, 3,000 views, because that's the kind of stuff people like. They're nosy. But when I post my business, of course, I don't get that number of comments. But I know that they're watching. Why? Because they just posted 2,000 posts on the other post that I posted about me being in a bikini. So those same people are connected to me, which means therefore they see it. But I can't get mad at them if they're not interested in what I'm posting at the time. The purpose of posting for me is to make sure they do just what you just said. They see me, they know who I am, and they like what I'm doing. Because when the time comes, they will get up, they will suit up, and they will show up. And I want to add this. A lot of times we have to give people grace, because you said it, they're watching you. And the reason they're watching you a lot of times is because they want to do what you're doing, but they're not bold enough to get on social media. So why I show up so aggressively is because my desire is to give other people permission to do the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is so exciting. And you know what? I believe it 100%. People are watching us. They may be watching us for different reasons, waiting for us to soar to the sky, and that'll give them permission, like you said, to do exactly what you're doing, what I'm doing. Or they're waiting for something negative, positive. It doesn't matter. Just show up as you, authentically you, and let's help others rise if and when they are ready to rise. Absolutely. And I know that you are a strong believer in our God above, and as I know, and I truly believe He is guiding me each and every day in everything I do. Some may like it, some may not, but I know He's guiding me, so He's loving it. He's loving me in everything I do.
God does not give us a vision without giving us the provision to carry that vision out. And that is one of the main things that keeps me moving, is the fact that I know God has given me the vision, and my last desire in life is to disappoint Him. It's just like a child. You buy your child a pair of shoes and you want them to appreciate them, but then the next day they come to you and say, Mommy, I left my shoes on the porch and it got rained on. Can you get me another pair of shoes? Well, Mommy's going to say, nope, you go fix the ones I gave you, clean them up. And God does the same thing, in my own opinion, for me in my life. If I don't do His job well, the gifts that He has given me is what I'm referring to, then I believe that He's going to move on to the next person. When He has a blessing or has greater gifts, greater rewards waiting on me to receive, somebody else is going to get those rewards. So I work in a way that I want to make sure that I am reverencing my gifts, my talents, and all the wonderful things that He gave me inside of me. And when I reverence those things, then yes, He's proud of me, and He's going to keep the flow coming. And and I know we can get so very busy with all the doors of opportunity. And that's exactly what we're here for. That's what entrepreneurs do. They sell, they teach, they lead. And these are the things that we have to be vigilant on so that we can keep our cup full with
Absolutely.
rewards.
And you know, when you said doors, you know, life is not always unicorns and cupcake sprinkles. We all know that. We all know that. But it's not about it not being unicorns and cupcake sprinkles per se. It's all about how we react to it, because we know we have the strength to handle whatever it is that we need to hurdle over. Our business is not always going to be perfect in the way we see it. Well, there's a reason for that. Maybe there's a little tweaking that we can do because now we're rising higher and higher. Or, like you said before, sometimes we have to pivot and pivot heavy and quickly to keep up. You could have said, I quit. I could have said, I quit. At the time that COVID hit, I had two businesses, Dr. Pat. One I had for over 15 years, and one was newer, which is what I do full time, full strength now, and that's helping other people build their businesses. I could have said, I'm done, I'm retiring, I quit, but I did not even think about it. All I said is, whoop, there's going to have to be some changes made around here. And that's exactly what I did. Within just days, I pivoted. And that's a strong, heavy word in my venture of life, is always be ready to pivot.
Absolutely.
You know, right now we're seeing a lot of pivoting this year. The stock market's going crazy. The presidential race is not what we thought it was going to be. It pivoted, it changed. We don't know what's going to happen, but I know what's going to be happening around here, Dr. Pat, is that I'm going to continue to be a strong woman, do what God guides me to do, and keep helping others build their business and build them. I'm not just here about, and I know you're not either, of just building businesses. You want to help each and every person out there be the best they can be, as long as they are trying to be the best they can be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are all leaders in our own way. All of us have been called to serve. And so we do have to do it with passion and commitment. And definitely procrastination is out the window, because when we procrastinate, then we'll never, ever make the mark. And that's what a lot of people do while they're watching on social media. You or I or other people, what they're doing is procrastinating. But tomorrow is not promised. And we only here for a time and a season. So every season that we have, I want to make it count, and I want to catapult into every area of my life that will assist me in serving other people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Dr. Pat, I know that you have a book out there that you want to tell people about. So this is your time to honor that book 100%.
Okay, and you're absolutely right. I have, thankfully, last year I launched my own personal book. I've been in several collaboration books, and that took me into desiring to hope to write my own book. And I launched my own book on in-person and virtual events that rock. 21st century tips, strategies, and processes. And I launched that book because I started that book before the pandemic hit, and it had another title, In-Person and Virtual Events, in person, because I hosted conferences in person. And then when the pandemic hit, I had to put the book aside, and I just kind of threw in the towel. I said, so much for that, because now it was obsolete because we weren't having in-person events. And again, as we talk about God, that's my God of my understanding. He says to me, now it's time to get that book out. And now what you're going to do for the in-person part of the book conferences, now you're going to add in what did you do to transition to online. So I was able to change the title into in-person and virtual events that rock, because we do believe in giving our attendees, making sure they walk off with introductions. We want to make sure that they walk off with emails in the chat. We want to make sure our speakers get access to that email list within 24 to 48 hours. So I have a lot of nuggets in that book as to how you can perform or host your own event virtually or in person, as well as lots of content about the tips and strategies that I've used to build online relationships in order to be successful. There are a lot of tips in there about some of the things that we should not do on social media so that we don't go to Facebook jail, I call it. Everything has rules and regulations, and we must follow the rules. But this book is very, very, very educational. It's not just about events. There's a lot of things in there that are strategies that we can use to build your self-esteem, increase your confidence, and definitely show you how to build relationships online, because that's very, very, very important. And of course, we made international bestseller. We had a book launch and all of those other good things that comes with it. I believe that anytime that we make we achieve a goal, I believe we need to celebrate.
Absolutely.
I know that, right?
Absolutely. And you've taught us to celebrate more often. And when I say us, I'm talking about other speakers, other people that have their own platforms like you and I. You've taught us to celebrate ourselves as we're celebrating others. And that's
Absolutely.
what so many of us forget.
Absolutely.
So
And I believe in that.
book and God, I've been in 4 different collaboration books, but I've not put out my own book. And I've been waffling, as I say, waffling back and forth. Do I do my own book? Do I not do my own book? Do I do it on my trauma? Do I do it on my business? And you know what? I was sitting here and someone had said, LaDonna, you need to do a book about how you do your business. Something, because you do so many different topics. Pick a topic and do it. And then I went to bed that same night and I was, I don't know, dreaming it, or it was there. It was a vision, like I'd already written the book. And then I was listening to church on TV because I wasn't able to go a couple weeks ago. I don't always go, but I'll do it here at home. That's the glory of our world in today, is that we don't always have to get up and go down the road when we can't or don't feel like it.
That's right.
But he was talking about writing your own book.
Yeah.
It's just the very next morning. And it kept coming. And then, you know what? One of my coaches 2 weeks ago said, I want to impress on each and every one of you to write your own book. So I've decided someone up there above is telling me I need to write that book about my business. So I have started jotting down a few things, and my goal is to have that book up and running within the year. I always gave myself within the year, because there's a lot of knowledge to write down and, you know, take the time out of what busy life we already have. But I have started jotting down some things that I want to put together, and it may change 2 or 3 dozen times between now and then, but that's okay. Now I've chosen, okay, I must write a book about my business.
Yeah, that's a great place to start, because certainly some of the things I'm sure you're going to put in that book, other people will have experienced it, and that
or will.
I personally wrote my book because I wanted to leave a legacy, not because I wanted to get rich quick. I brought it because whoever's intended to make that investment in the book on Amazon, then that means they'll get it. But my goal is really to leave a legacy because I always wanted to be on Amazon. So I've
Yes.
made that dream come true, and I'm so grateful that I did.
You know, it's pretty powerful when you Google your name. Dr. Rogers, have you Googled your name and see everything that pops up lately? I mean, it's glory. It fills my heart when I just Google my name and there it pops up. Not for me personally. Yes, it feels great. Let's face it, it feels great.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But
For it.
look how much I can help others when they Google my name and they go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Let me go watch that video again. I didn't know that. Or let me read that article again that was published in the New York Times or overseas in India or in Austria or wherever, because I have articles published everywhere. And it's pretty nice. And
Yes, yes,
be
yes, it is.
a woman of worth nominee, which both of us are. That's pretty powerful. And
Yeah.
we are there because we've helped others.
Yes, it is. It is. And that's one of the joys of being on social media and doing various things because I don't know how they do it, but Google pick up, like they say, Google knows everything.
Yes.
And a lot of times, even on LinkedIn or different place, mainly LinkedIn, people ask, "What do you do?" Well, if they Google me, they'll know what I do. You know,
Right.
in
Yeah.
most cases, sometimes people have already Googled you. I have had people tell me I've already, even on LinkedIn, I've looked at your platform. I see your profile. And that's why I'm connecting with you because I love what you're doing. So it is important for us to make sure that we are active because Google will pick up a lot of things that you don't even know that they're watching. Everybody's watching, including Google.
Yeah.
So that's a bonus. Yes. And when I see my statistics, when I do have gone to Google, I've taken pictures at conferences and stuff, and they say, well, you're going to be on Google, give it about 3 hours, and you're going to be up there. That makes me feel good and it makes me work harder. When
Yeah.
I can see the results of my labor, it makes us work harder.
Yes.
So it gives me inspiration to, hey, let me keep doing what I'm doing. It's working. So
Absolutely. We're givers. And
yeah.
being a giver makes us feel good. That's why we give and we continue to give. And being givers helps others. And there's no room for takers in my life, Dr. Patricia Rogers. There's just not. There's just not room for takers. And if they come into my bubble, there's only so much room in that bubble. And if that taker doesn't start giving and love to give, and if we can't get them where they need, maybe it's not their time to be givers today. All we can do is protect ourselves and be there for them and teach them and give, as long as they're learning. That's what I say. Everyone's not where we're at today, but they can be. We've worked hard. We've worked hard.
Yeah.
I want to thank you so very much for being here once again, Dr. Rogers. I want to give you one last time to tell people, like, what would be your what do you want to say to people at the end of this interview that will help them continue on their path and rise higher?
Oh, wow. Yes. Well, I would guess I would leave them with the fact that, first of all, you cannot have success without sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something, and that means whether it's time, money, or whatever. We have to pour, when I say money, meaning we have to pour into other people. We have to pour into other people, not just wait until it's your time, your season. And I have that happen quite often. People come to me, will you buy my book? And I look at the chat that we've talked in before, and I may have invited them to 3 or 4 events. And I have to tell them. So the best thing for me and for anybody, be authentic, be honest with people. And I tell them, you didn't come to any event that I asked you to come to, and now you want me to purchase your book. Well, you would have had a network of people because I would have supported you and they would have bought that book just because I asked them to. So sometimes we have to teach people along the way and not just let it go. because the truth is what sets all of us free. That's what sets all of us free. But in my closing, I would just like to say to everyone, if you have a vision, trust the process, because God does not give you a vision without giving you the provisions to carry it out. And whatever you do, don't compete, because everybody has their own calling. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service, where people need people.
And that's right. Do not compete. Do not compete. Oh my goodness. That is, you need to write a book just about that, Dr. Rogers. Do not compete. There's no room for it. Don't be in competition, because we can help each other rise without competition.
Yeah, that's right.
So, have a beautiful day, Dr. Rogers. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye-bye now, everyone.
And thank you for having me, LaDonna. God bless you.